astrology. I'm a modern intuitive astrologer. And today I have one of my Gemini moon friends with me, which I love to chat with them, Liz from Liz Norman Astrology. And we're going to chat about upcoming Uranus Jupiter conjunction, which is the biggest event of 2024. It's very exciting, just like Uranus. Hi, Liz. How are you? Welcome.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I'm really good. I'm so excited about this. It is one of the biggest transits of the year. So we need to talk now to prepare for it.
Absolutely. So before we start, please give us a short introduction. What are you doing? Where can people find you and everything? So tell us more.
Yeah, thank you. So my name's Liz Norman. I'm an astrologer, homeopath, and Bach Flower Practitioner. My journey into holistic medicine started well over 20 years ago. Its roots were in my first Saturn return, and this week is my second Saturn return. So happy second Saturn return to me.
Congratulations.
So I think that's really cool because, I've built my knowledge, Saturn worked hard at it, added the different modalities, and I started really formally learning astrology, having loved it and read books all my life 5 years ago. So now I integrate all these healing modalities, and to an extent where I start with the chart now. I kind of add the medical astrology and the support on top of my astrology knowledge, because to me it is the key that unlocks so much. So and Gemini moon. So I think I'm on 2 courses at the moment, just 2, but I'm always on at least one.
Oh, lovely. That's amazing. I think we need more and more people like you who are combining many different healing techniques to help people, especially with this upcoming Pluto and Aquarius. We're going to need, need that a lot. I don't want to go deeper into that, but I'm so happy to have you here. I'm happy that you were able to work your way to this point in your life when you can help others with your knowledge. And I love that. So that's amazing. So let's dive in. So first of all, I just want to give some technical points. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction will occur on the April 20th, 21st, depending on where you live in the world, at 21 degrees. So now I'm like confused. 21 degrees Taurus. Yes. So what does that mean? Okay, before we go, I just want to say hi to Kiara in the chat. She goes, sending you both love. I'm also Gemini moon. Well, welcome. We love having Gemini moons. It's a Gemini moon party today. Awesome. I love it. So first of all, what does that mean? So tell us more. Start from the beginning. What is this?
Okay, so I thought what we could do to put some structure in case our Gemini moons go everywhere and there is no structure. I kind of start with the transit details. Then I thought we could look at the archetypes, and then let's just go back in history and see, because this is a massive transit, see what things have happened. And I think that'll help people go, wow, this is a big energy. Then we can look at how's it going to affect our lives. But we'll have a better picture then because we've been on that little journey.
Okay? I love it. I love journeys. My stepmom is in the Sag house. I love doing Sag things, exploring from way back. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about Jupiter and Uranus. So this is basically 2 transiting planets that are co-joining, and they kind of create a meta planet, an energy that's bigger than the sum of the both parts, which is very exciting. So we need to say, well, look, how often is this? Because this is a big deal. Uranus has an 84-year cycle, and Jupiter has a 12-year cycle. So they join about every 14 years. So this is a big deal. This isn't going to come around again for another 14 years. So, that really helps us to kind of set the scene of we need to work with this energy. And, because they have a big joint energy, the orb in which we feel them, although it's exact to 21 degrees, we're going to be feeling it really 10, almost up to 14 degrees either side of it, because they kind of, for a start, Jupiter expands, but any double conjunction times. So, so really just to put this in context of the timing, like you said, it's exact on the 20th of April, but we actually would have felt the beginnings of it back in the summer of last year. So anyone this or the recording, cast your mind back to the summer of 2023, because that's when Uranus went up to this degree. It wasn't co-joined by Jupiter, but it was at that degree. So what was the seeds of what was coming up? And then it would have, then Jupiter went retrograde. So we kind of lost the feeling. And it was only when Jupiter then went direct again and Uranus went direct, we're feeling it now. It's going to build to that April. And then really, actually, I think by June, it will start easing because Jupiter will go into Gemini.
Yes.
So really, here we are in February, really use this next couple of months to build for it, and work on the energy. So that's kind of the timeline that we've got for it.
I like what you mentioned, because when Jupiter moves into Gemini, it's going to lose that Taurian flavor that it was. Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. So that's kind of the backdrop of what we got. So, let's have a look. I don't know. Do you want to jump in and throw in the archetypes of these two planets?
Sure. I'm going to give a few words. So what is about, I love Uranus. I love change. I'm a mutable person. I have all my angles mutable, a lot of mutability. So I love and always embrace Uranus because it is a change bringer. It's also it's a sense of awakening. So it gives us a moment of aha moment, right? It's one of those things that when Uranus hits your chart in any way, you're like, oh my God, I need to kind of break free from the old patterns, the old structures, from all this conditioning that I have, and I need to go and explore a new possibility. It's very innovative. It's futuristic. It's out there, literally outside of the box. It's a modern co-ruler of Aquarius. So think about all this technology, exploration of space, of travel, anything, I always think about a sentence, nothing is impossible until it's possible, right? It's kind of those feelings. So it's a great planet. I love it. I know it's hard for some people to, especially with a lot of earth and fixed modality, it's for those people it's hard to embrace the change, but this is a great opportunity, actually, even because it's in Taurus, even for them to embrace this change that Uranus brings us. And on the other hand, we have Jupiter, who likes to expand and grow. So think about, this is going to be bigger than life change. It's going to be bigger than life things, because it's Jupiter is like the balloon, goes, and it just blows, and it blows your mind as well with this combination. So Jupiter can also bring fortune and luck, and it's at ease that gives us some kind of to do something and more at ease. But it's also about expanding our minds. So never forget about it. It's also a teacher and a mentor in a way, right? So he likes to teach us, and it's also about belief system. What do we believe in? So we gotta maybe break through. I think Liz is gonna talk about it. Breakthrough for the old patterns of what we believe in and why do we believe in it and what's happening there. So Uranus is gonna expose that as well. So this is just a few words from me.
Yeah, I love that.
And Misbehaving is here. I have to say hi. She's the biggest fan ever. Hello, Misbehaving. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining again.
That's a very cool thing. Uranus misbehaving, Uranus pushes the boundaries, it's not scared to stir things up a little bit. Absolutely. So that was wonderful, that that they're the two archetypes that we have, and I think if there was one sentence, and I'm actually borrowing this from Stephen Forrest, I'm not this is not my words, but one sentence: a big, bold vision for your future self. I thought that was just beautiful, because Jupiter is where we expand. It's where we have that bigger picture. I like to think of it, when I'm talking to clients, it's your dreams, it's your aspirations, it's your vision board. What is it that you envisage and dream? There's a hope, isn't there, and an optimism in Jupiter. And then what we get with Uranus is this sense that we can take a risk, that we can push those boundaries. You know, it's the planet of evolution and revolution. You know, it's the planet that pushes through those boundaries. It challenges us as people, you know. So I like to think that if Jupiter's the dream, Uranus is the leap.
Yes.
You know, so we can bring these two, you know, we can play with all these archetypes and see where they, you know, where they are. And I love that, you know, Uranus ultimately at its soul, it wants us to be our future version of ourselves. And it's really important. You know, I'd like people to kind of look at me. You know, I've shared it's my second Saturn return. I'm 59 in a few weeks' time. I've never been more energized about my life.
Right.
You know, it's that sense of like, you know, that you can go for it, you can leap, you have that excitement and electricity that goes with it, you know, and you have to be prepared to reinvent yourself.
I love it.
Uranus. So, you know, I'm sitting here a living example of, I haven't, you know, trotted off down to Women's Institute at my age. I've gone, you know what? What's my future version of myself?
And I love it. And you can feel it. You can see your enthusiasm, which is also Jupiter. You can sense it, right? Before we go on, just want to say hi to Astrology in Style. Hi, thank you for coming, for joining. We appreciate it. Yes, I love your enthusiasm, Liz. I love it.
You know, I think one really important thing, if you look at, you know, what's the common thread between these two planets? They're both future looking. You know, Jupiter has this idea that, you know, things are good, but they could be better. You know, this sense of where are we dreaming? Where's our vision? Where are we going to push? But actually, we don't always do that. And so Uranus is that kind of, I like to call it Buzz Lightyear. You know, it's to infinity and beyond. And so I think actually this might be a really good point to look at some of the things in history. You can see I've got so many notes. My Gemini moon went crazy with the notes.
Perfect.
I mean, it was when I was doing the history that I really went, wow, this is amazing transit. So let's go back to, you know, in Aquarius in 1831, we had Faraday. He discovered electromagnetic induction. Uranus is the planet we link with electrical energy, that buzz, you know, and in the Aquarius conjunction in 1831, what we now know as electricity was that spark was first thought of, you know. And then again, when we think of it in a birth chart, Uranus, Jupiter can be the genius mind, the Jupiter, the bigger thinker, and the Uranus, the out of the box thinking, you know. The three that really blew my mind because of the thread is, you know, Uranus is, you know, we're humans. We can't fly, can we? We don't have wings, but we have minds that created machines that could fly. And that's, you know, and so in 1899 in Sagittarius, the Wright brothers had their first experiment flying.
Amazing.
Then we catapult forward to 1927 in Aries, when Charles Lindbergh was the first solo to fly across the Atlantic.
Oh my God.
Then we catapult forward to 1969 in Libra, and we had the Apollo moon landing. And that was just like, whoa, these are such key. And when you go back to, we don't have wings, but we have brains that can make us have wings to fly.
I love that. This is actually Jupiter with the vision. I love it. So these are all things that were happening during this conjunction. So what can we expect this year? My mind is like already.
So, you know, I've got a few other examples, just, you know, because I thought they were so. I think they teach us because you go, okay, you can relate. You know, if we go back to 2010, we had the Instagram was launched. You think how that's changed our lives? Technology pushing boundaries. I thought an interesting one in 1997 in Aquarius, you know, which is technology. We had Dolly the sheep was cloned. So that was like
Oh,
massive, like tech experiment. We can't go into the philosophy, was it good or bad? But
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
that
it
was,
happened.
that was an interesting thing that we had there. And I just want to, in the history, I want to share a really personal story with this because it just made me smile. So my late father, Henry William Cole, that was my maiden name. My late father was born in 1927 under the exact conjunction in Aries, 3 degrees. He was a genius. It was trine his sun and Mercury. I mean,
Oh my God. Oh my
crazy.
God. The mind. Now I
So,
know where you get your brains from. Okay, I got it.
so what was really interesting about my dad, Henry William Cole, was he came from a really, really modest family from the East End of London. And they were greengrocers. They were not brilliant minds, hardworking, lovely people. He was the 5th child, an unexpected Uranus, Jupiter, unexpected. His mother, I think, was in her mid-40s. So he was unexpected. He put himself through tech college because his family didn't understand. He then went on to become the chief radar engineer at Marconi. And then let's catapult forward to 1983. And as chief radar engineer, he headed a team that basically invented the current secondary surveillance radar called Messenger. And that was under the Jupiter Uranus in Sagittarius, linked to flight. I mean, I'm like, that's just such a beautiful story, isn't it?
Oh my God, that's the best story ever. Like this explains exactly this, guys. Oh my God, thank you so much for sharing, Liz. This is
Okay, that's
oh
okay.
my
My dad
God.
would have been so pleased that I shared it. So,
Oh my God, I have goosebumps. Look at
yeah,
I really literally has goosebumps. Oh my God, that is amazing. Oh, I'm gonna use your story. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna talk to people. So just for you to know, your dad
yeah.
is gonna be mentioned in many conversations I'm gonna have.
Yeah, it is. So anyone that's saying, well, thank you, because that really means a
Yeah,
massive amount to me. So,
yeah.
so
So
I
juicy.
kind of think now we've got the history, we can go back in and look at this year with a bit more wow, to be fair,
Yeah.
um, and I think, so what have we got here? We've got Uranus is brilliance. Uranus
Mhm.
is this, where you wake up and you go, wow, and you
Yeah.
suddenly think about something differently. But what Jupiter brings is that sense of good luck, that sense of optimism that project is going to work. It's kind of good luck
Mm.
meets brilliance. So, and it's all about creative impulse. So, this is a great time if you've had a project building. This is a good time to be brave, take risks, push, and see that, where it can go.
And do you feel, I'm sorry, I know you're probably going to say it, but do you feel that because it's in Taurus, it gives you that stability, that
Perseverance.
perseverance, right? Perseverance to actually go and do it and to with your project. Do you feel
Yeah,
that?
I kind of think, oh, that's an interesting one. I think it's a double-edged sword being in
Okay.
Taurus. Taurus being fixed earth, I think, is the most tenacious, sticking at it, persevering sign. So that is good. But it is also the sign that likes stability. And Uranus is asking us to not be stable. So that's one of my caveats at the end, is to kind of sit with the discontent of it, because Uranus, the way I describe Uranus is it kind of moves 1 step, 2 steps, and suddenly you're at 10. Yeah, and Taurus does not like that. So,
But to be honest, with Taurian energy, if they know in on time, if they prepare, if it's under their own terms, then they
yeah,
are willing to change. So this is good to be prepared. So I like that we're doing this now, so people can prepare the ones who are not, more inclined to change, because it gives you under your own terms, then they will make the leap for
yeah.
sure. The
Yeah,
Taurians.
and Uranus is expect the unexpected. Well, much as I say to all my clients, I'm not going to try and call this, because the entire point of it is that it's unexpected.
Yeah.
But, big thing, be open to open doors. If something random comes across your field, look at it. Whereas, perhaps the more conservative Taurus might go, well, I couldn't, I'm not going to do that course. I'm not going to apply for that job. I'm not going to go on a date with that person. All I would say is, don't be frightened of things that come across your path. Know that they're part of this, where you're going to go. So I think it's being open and anticipating the change. And that takes the fear out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I mean, for Taurians, that energy, if there's a lucky charm, if there is a reward at the end that they can indulge, they can maybe just do the leap. If they can imagine the reward at the end.
I also think that, what it's doing is it's stirring up in steady Eddie Taurus a little bit of risk taking, which is not a bad thing for Taurians. And this is for people where it's conjunct something in Taurus, like me. It's okay to take a risk. It's okay to kind of push some boundaries. And again, the caveat on that is, which I don't think is going to happen in Taurus, but it's like, don't take this energy and go and blow all your money in Vegas. Because Uranus asks us to take risks. But like I said, I think in Taurus, we're grounded in Taurus. I also thought it was quite interesting to look at these in terms of where the planets are. And if we're to make these brilliant ideas of ours have endurance, then actually it's really interesting to look at Saturn in the middle, because we've got, Jupiter, we've got Jupiter and Uranus, and in the middle of these two, we have Saturn. So if you've done the work, if you've actually done the prep, then actually it's almost like this is the serendipity, good luck, because you've already done the Saturn work.
I like that. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, Liz. So we're gonna have, that's exactly, like, it's gonna be karmically. Like, if you did it, even if you didn't, so something will happen on the other side, maybe.
But I think it's like, you're not just going to wake up one morning and start the project, but if you've been working on it, or you plant the seed now and you do the work. But it's really important. I thought Saturn was quite a good one to look at as well.
Okay, and then I know you're probably going to mention this in the future, but we have a question here. So I was just thinking maybe the eclipse before. So Misbehaving says, interesting, I have Sag, Sun, Moon, North Node, so lots of planets, but sometimes too fearful to take the leap. I have Libra rising, so interesting to see how the eclipses works. So I was thinking, because the eclipse is going to be the new moon prior to this conjunction, but it's an ecliptic new moon. And usually we set intentions. So what do you feel? Would this be a good time to set intentions, even if it's eclipse, for this upcoming conjunction, like have a vision board on this eclipse new moon, or no?
Actually, that's really interesting. I'm so glad. Thank you for that question. I'm going to go back a little bit, if that's okay, because there's been this amazing build-up around 20 degrees of the signs, because we've had 5 new moons in a row at 20 degrees of their sign since Scorpio. And normally they shift, don't they? Kind of like half a degree. But they've been, so basically anybody who's got any planets in or near 20 degrees has had new moon. They build to the solar eclipse at 19 degrees of Aries on the 8th of April.
Yes.
And then that's followed a couple of weeks later by this at 21 degrees of Taurus. So I actually think that this process of planting seeds, we're already in it. So I definitely think you've got the new moon in Pisces, that's coming up on the 10th of March. Use that and the eclipse to plant these seeds about your future self, knowing you've got this energy building. So we've also got today, as we're recording, is the conjunction of Chiron and the North Node. So I think this is a beautiful backdrop of Chiron bringing us healing in that sign of who am I, Aries, but co-joined by the North Node, this sense of us being on our path, of knowing where we're going. So that's the backdrop, if you like, of this taking the leap. So that was a very big way of explaining. This is about saying, where am I? Am I on this right track? Because you're going to be invited to leap.
Yes, it's kind of an energy. If you even don't do some changes, you're not going to stay the same position.
No.
You know, like you're going to go backwards, if that makes sense. You know, yeah, it's like you're going to be urged. There's going to be this, as you said, spark impulse. You know, like a shock wave in your body that you will need to change something. Yeah. So excellent point. 2 new moons before,
Yeah,
and
I think really sit with the incredible healing energy that we have right now, and that's going to build to this solar eclipse. And then I think it's almost a natural, and that, wow, yes, Chiron at 16 degrees, you know, and my heart goes out to you, because Chiron has stayed at 15, 16 degrees for so long. It's been drilling down. Know that it's going to start moving at a pace, and you're going to feel that eclipse as a real new beginning.
Misbehaving. Yeah, she's going to have a life change. Yeah.
You know, I've been telling clients about the Jupiter Uranus is, don't expect this necessarily to be an externality that comes at you, because we all know with the law of attraction that if you change your thinking, you change your perspective, life changes. And I really think we must remember Uranus is the planet of higher mind. It's the higher octave of Mercury. So if you change how you think about things, then things change. So I would invite people just to sit with that as an idea, that it isn't going to be necessarily an externality. It'll be an internal change as well, you know, that we have moving forward.
I just on a quick note, maybe it's not connected, but I just want to mention, so misbehaving. Yeah, you can go through this. It's not easy. I had the Chiron in the sky squaring my Venus for the last year. You know, it's 15. I have 16 degrees Venus, so it's I was, you know, healing and rethinking the way I value what I value. What is my worth? That's, I need to heal. What is my worth, and how I, you know, put it out there in the world. So it's a process, and it, you know, even this with Chiron, it's always a process. So, but it's invite us to change something, which is good, which we need, because we need to change.
So let's talk a little bit more then, to kind of, you know, wrap this back to in you know, we've been off to the history, we've come back, we've looked at the art. How is this going to affect you? So, you know, be open to open doors. Don't be fearful of change, because it's inviting change. It's inviting you to be your future self. So I've got this pinging my chart. So I knew what happened last July. I will honestly share with people, it wasn't completely wonderful. I was so restless. I was literally like wired. So it took me till the end of it to realize and practice what I preach. It took me till the end of it to take a remedy for it, because I was, you know, I was so in it, I didn't see it. So you might find your brain is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So I'm going to put my other hat on here and say they're very safe. Anyone can take these. Wonderful Bach flower remedy for this is white chestnut. That's BACH, Bach flower remedies. Pop a couple of drops in water. It just slows down that mental process.
I like that. Great tip. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was going to ask you, do you have any healing?
So Bach flower, white chestnut for the brain going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. There's also a physical, you know, Uranus is, these are both future looking planets. So we're not very present. So what I would say is use that Taurian energy to be back in the here and now. And if you feel a little unsettled, connect back with Mother Nature, Taurus, because Taurus brings us that kind of that slower rhythm. And the other thing I would say is I also, you know, I'm learning this lesson from the inside. I was running around so madly, I actually broke my toe. And I was like, that was when I stopped and went, you need to slow down and you need to take a remedy. And thankfully, I didn't have a car crash. I didn't, you know, but I'm just saying, you know, be conscious because your mind's going everywhere, and your body's still here and your toe's still on the end of your foot. So don't break your toe like I did.
Yeah, it's interesting. And Saturn is in Pisces, which rules foot, and you have almost Saturn return. So just interesting story.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was very painful.
Yeah.
So be open to open doors. Slow down. Connect with nature. If you feel that physical, another good remedy for that is called impatience. It literally is for being impatient. So the two, I'm taking them both, and they really have helped me to kind of use this energy positively. So yeah, I didn't know whether you wanted to just finish up by kind of taking people through where it's going to affect them in their chart, what signs are going to be affected.
We can do for half an hour more. I mean, this was just in general.
Yeah.
If you want to go in more details, I would appreciate it. I think it's interesting, and people love this. I think you're amazing, and I just can't stop listening to you. So please continue, please.
Okay, so this is really for people listening who aren't, astrologers, and apologies if you would already know this, but when we have a transit, I like to, and this is a big transit, okay, this is, I like to think of them as their energies from the sky, from the heavens, shining a light on our birth chart. And, how they shine that light will depend on whether they're conjunct or opposite. So think of that light either coming down or it's shining at an angle. So if you have planets in Taurus, like me, I have my Jupiter there, it's shining right on top of me. So it's almost like I can't escape it, but I'm also slightly unaware of it because I can't see the light. It's actually enveloping me. So anybody who's got anything really, I would say from, 10, 12 degrees of Taurus all the way to the end of Taurus is going to be feeling that light around them. And that's going to be a conjunction because it's happening on top of the sign.
I love it. It's like a stardust. It's like a stardust going on your head. I like that.
But it's much more likely then to be an internal change. It'll be a change of your own thinking. It's a conjunction. So then we're looking at the other signs. Well, obviously, Taurus is opposite Scorpio. So we're going to be, so if it's conjuncting your south node, then obviously what it's going to be is opposite your north node. It's actually highlighting your nodal axis. That's really going to be getting you back on your path. That's going to be really reconnecting you with where you're supposed to be going. And you're going to be more conscious of it as an opposition. And again, we're talking Scorpio, anything from about 10, 12 degrees to the end are going to feel that. And that may come in as an externality. It may be something from the outside that makes you rethink. So that's Scorpio, which is opposite. And then, of course, we're going to go for the squares, the 90-degree angles, which are the other fixed signs. Yeah. So we're looking at Leo and we're looking at Aquarius. And so that light's going to be coming at a right angle. And squares by opposition, squares by transit, make us want to do something. They really, we want to act.
You reminded me, like, because it's going like it's like poking us in the ribs, from the both sides.
What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about this? Yeah. So, I think it's quite important to understand how the different nuances of energy when we have transits affecting us, and listen to it. It's inviting change. Listen to it, go with that change. And then, of course, we've got I'm using the term loosely, favorable, a trine, which is going to be 120 degrees, earth sign to another earth sign. That's going to tend to be more of a positive serendipity coming across your path, but it can also be an expansion of that. I think but that's going to more likely bring good fortune into your life. So we've got the trine, which will be people with Capricorn and Virgo. And then lastly, I don't really go beyond, I'm not really looking at other degrees. We've got the sextile to the water signs of Pisces and Cancer. So pretty much affecting most of us.
I think the Pisceans especially going to appreciate this with Saturn hitting them for the last year and this year. I think they're going to have like a breath of fresh air with this new things. I think they're going to really enjoy this opportunity.
Yeah, actually, that's a shout out to anyone that's had that. Anybody, you know, we've had Saturn in Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it went in March last year, got up to 7 degrees, then it went back. And it stayed at 0 for so long. I have a load of Pisces planets. It was like walking uphill backwards. It was so hard work. And now it's moved on. And I think that's an interesting feel, is that you've done the work. Just think of Saturn's where we work hard, where we become masters. So this will be the fruition of that. So anyone that's been feeling the Saturn hard work, know that this is a more fruition that you've got with that. But yeah, I mean, if it's pinging your sun, your moon, your nodes, or angles.
I was just thinking, it's going to trine my angle, not exact, but it's going to be like 7-degree trine to my angle, to my ascendant, right? So actually, I have all angles in the same position. So that's going to be cool.
I mean, obviously with any transits, the closer it is, the closer you're going to feel it. You know, in my chart, it is exactly on my Jupiter return to the minute.
Oh my, to the minute?
To the minute, it is exact, which is why I know where it is. And then my ascendant's at 24 degrees Taurus. So, I'm asking other astrologers to talk me through that one, because I'm just, you know, I'm in it. You know, so it's going to be interesting. Talk to me in May and see where it's landed.
I for sure will. Yeah, I'm thinking about, my husband has a 23-degree Jupiter in Taurus, so it's going to hit him as well in his 10th house.
It is.
So it's a big things. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of things as well. So where is your ascendant?
Yeah, I have Jupiter. My website is called Jupiter Rising.
Yes,
because I actually have Jupiter conjunct my ascendant. I didn't make that one up for my website. And it's just, Jupiter's just in the 12th house. So my ascendant's at 24. So I'm going to get activated. Then it's going to go over that ascendant point. So, you know, I'm quite excited about it. We shall see. I might turn into an alien. I don't know.
I don't know. When we see you with a pink purple hair in May, you'll see, you know. You want to change your appearance, all of a sudden your Taurian stability is like, you know what, I'm going to cut my hair and dye in rainbow colors. I love that.
You know, we'll you know, I'm very open to it, and you know, I think once I learned the lessons last summer, and again I'd loop back to that, when we have transits build up, they're harder, aren't they, when they start? You know, and that restlessness sat very badly with me last summer. So I'm navigating it much better this time. I'm literally practicing what I preach, and I'm taking remedies, and they are really helping. So, you know, I would say to people, if you feel that, sit with it, because then you're more likely to get the positives of the transit.
And then you have some on your website they can purchase from you?
No, I don't sell them. We're covered by all sorts of laws, and you can buy Bach Flower remedies from any health store.
Okay. In England, I don't know how it's here.
What I'll do under the post in this, when it goes onto Instagram, I'll write the names of the remedies. They're perfectly safe. Couple of drops in water. Sip the water. They are.
Please. Yeah, in the comments. Just put in the comments what. Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank you very much. Yes, because white chestnut, I'm going to get one. I'm going to get for myself, because I have a lot of Gemini energy. I need white chestnut.
To be honest, white chestnut is a really good remedy for a Gemini moon, because the Gemini moon is always rethink. You know.
But I have it conjunct with my Mercury in Gemini, and I have Sun in Gemini, so I need it. I really appreciate this. I'm going to buy one today. Okay, what else do we have? What else do we want to share?
So you know, I mean, that's pretty much, you know, I wanted to condense this into something really useful. So I'm happy to, you know, if there's any more questions, or if you want to go through any other things that are pinging your chart, or, you know, I'm quite happy to.
No, so just in general. Okay, let's just in general see which. So you already mentioned which signs are gonna have be more favorable and more struggling, challenging. But overall, it is a fortunate aspect for many of us, right? From all of us, if you use it well, as you said. So if you did your Saturn, this can benefit you in any case. And you mentioned the signs. I think that's okay. We don't want to go into any more details. Of course,
I
if
mean,
you want.
I actually think, I've done a lot of research. I really enjoy delving into the history of this one.
Yes.
And I think that actually it's the only time it's going to be hard is if you're running around too fast and you literally hurt yourself. Like, just be sensible. And then also if you resist the change, because this is wanting you to connect. Let's finish with this. Wants you to connect with a big, bold vision of your future self. So don't be apprehensive in your 8th house. The 8th house is so... I really don't like things in astrology that get bad raps. I don't like it when Scorpio and Virgo get bad raps, and when the 8th and the 12th get, to me.
It's in my 8th house as well. It's happening in my 8th house as well, this conjunction.
The 8th house to me is where things that used to be sacred have become taboo. Astrology is 8th house. Tarot is 8th house. Witchcraft, and all of that medicine. And I genuinely think also, if we go back to the mundane stage, I think people will start being more open outside the narrative and look at different healing modalities. And I think if it's in your 8th house, it's putting you in the driving seat for being there for that change.
It's like an alchemist. I feel it like it's an alchemist. That's how I'm embracing this. I'm an alchemist of my life, of all of this deep things, psychological. Like I'm just gonna, reinvent myself in that sense, from a deeper, thing. So that's how
if it's in your 8th house, if it's pinging a planet or an angle, then we're going to be looking at the house that planet rules for the outcome, because just it's happening in your 8th house, the outcome. So in my chart, the outcome is actually my 8th house, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is my 8th house. So, I kind of, I don't know. I might get a really big tax bill or win the lottery. I don't know.
You should. I mean, it's a good luck. Don't expect it, but but you can for sure play some lottery. Don't go crazy and spend a lot of money. But if you're like a little scratchy or something, or a couple of bucks or a couple of pounds, if you want to do something, right?
But I it's in Taurus, so there's going to be an inherent caution within it, and I very much see. I love that 8th house is alchemy. It's where we transform. And it's also really, really activating my 12th house. But for me, that's just an awareness. I'm already feeling it, of these bringing together of all these really different modalities that I've spent the last 30 years learning. I've learned all this stuff, and I'm bringing it, and they're all 12th house things. And actually my natal Mercury is in the 12th. So I was here to study 12th house stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a nice way. And you are to heal others and their 12th house issues. I feel with Jupiter there, you can teach others about 12th house and how to heal and everything. That's really good. So what do you feel? But this popped out. Do we look at Venus as a ruler of this conjunction? What is she ruling in our chart? Will that be affected or no? What do you feel about it?
No, I wouldn't read a transit like that. I would read the transit as if it's falling on a planet in your chart, then that planet, okay, again, my analogy always light. The light is shining on it. What's the light shining on? Because a transit is inviting us to upgrade. I genuinely believe this. All transits are actually about energizing and upgrading us, because when we go back around the zodiac, it's not a circle, it's a spiral upwards.
It's shining light. It's shining light on the planet.
but what planet or angle is it upgrading? And that's where the outcome will be. So in my chart,
okay.
it's Jupiter. My Jupiter is being, if you like, energized. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's my bigger picture vision, my wisdom. I mean, that would be nice to think that my wisdom is being upgraded.
But then your hope and optimism and just being more enthusiastic. You already are enthusiastic, but even getting you this
and I think I'm inherently not a particularly brave person.
Okay. Now I'm thinking about you. Would you have a mentorship for others, or do some workshops, or teach? That's what Jupiter is.
That's my next thing. Is that actually I've got a couple of things coming up, and I'm going to be doing both. I'm going to be teaching some basic astrology to homeopaths, and I'm actually going to do a Bach Flower introduction to astrologers. So
I'm going to take that one. I'm signing up for the.
Actually, that's my vision: is to use my 12th house Mercury to teach these different modalities.
Perfect. I'm signing up for the Bach Flower workshop right away, so you can sign me in. I'm definitely, when it's going to be, I'm going to, for sure, because I'm very interested in that as well. As a Virgo rising, I love remedies and having,
for sure. Yeah. So, if you've got Venus at 20 degrees of Capricorn, then this is almost exact. Okay, it's 21 degrees, it's falling at 20, and it's going to be trining it because it's going from Earth to Earth. That, to me, I would say that this is going to be an upgrading of your sense of value, your sense of self-esteem, and it's in Capricorn, so there's going to be planning around that. There's going to be structure, and it's in your third house, communicating and learning.
Yeah, I think Misbehaving told me she has some new opportunities at work with Venus in Capricorn. This can exactly be it. Getting some, some money from work, or some changes in your work. Just getting that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, now that you're talking about this, it's squaring my Saturn and Mars conjunction in Leo. I have it 24 degrees, so that's going to be activated for me. It's like 3-degree orb from in the 11th house. Okay, I can do that. It's nice.
But yeah, any planets that are after that 21 degree are going to get Uranus going. Some of them, if we go to like 25 degrees, are going to have Uranus for the first time. So, anyone with a 20 degree, it's going to be it and then move on. But, if we're looking afterwards, then, it's going to be activating it. And definitely think of this. That's why I love astrology, because if you're aware of it, you can I think most people I talk to are really modest, and they're really not very good at embracing their gifts. And I know that's what astrology's done for me. It's given me a massive confidence boost. I know I'm doing this 5 years ago. I would never have spoken publicly or never. Yeah. It's made a difference. And I think definitely it's going to be, it's this big, bold vision and leap. Uranus is the leap. It's the thing, like, I'm really scared and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to be Buzz Lightyear and I'm going to go to infinity.
Do you know, I was into astrology. I mean, for my whole life, since I think my first Jupiter returned when I was 11 or 12. But it took Uranus opposing my natal Uranus to kind of go and this is what Uranus guys do. Literally, I was opposing my natal Uranus like 4 years ago or something, and then I said, this is it, now or never. I'm gonna go. I want to do this for real. Like, it's like, I need to break free. It's like I thought it was the last chance. So this is what Uranus does to you. It really, it shakes you your whole life and says now or never. The midlife crisis for me.
Dress up like Freddie Mercury and get the Hoover out and start singing "I Want to Break Through," because that's the energy, isn't it? So let's finish on that lovely. It's like okay, don't get held back by the past versions of yourself, wherever you are in your journey, wherever you are. So
absolutely. I appreciate this, Liz. This was amazing. So many good information. I love it. I love talking to you. And we're gonna do soon another live, because I need to have you more. I need to present you more.
more questions and comments. I really appreciate you all tuning in, and lovely to be back with you. And for sure, let's do another one.
Absolutely. Yes. Thanks, Misbehaving and Astrology in Style, and everybody else who was here live with us for your questions and interaction. It's always appreciated because it gives us also opportunity to expand our minds and tell you some more details. Anyway, so don't forget to follow Liz on Instagram, Liz Norman Astrology, and on YouTube. And be sure to stay tuned in for her workshops that are coming up, because there's going to be really good combining the natural remedies with astrology. I love that. Bye bye, everybody, and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.